ropes today. The first one is the 10-6 Circ. It is 10.6 millimeters, and it comes in two lengths, 60 meter and 70 meters. And as a special, because of the webinar that we're doing today, you can get it discounted, and it's 30% off, and you can get that through August 24th. So that price is currently available as of today, and it'll go for a month. And you can get that through our website or by calling customer service. So I'll go through all of that at the end on how to get the discounted price. It's USA made, certified to UIAA 101 and EN 892. And then there's some of the specifications for you to peruse. And all of this will also be included in those slides that you can download. The second rope that we're featuring today is the 11 latitude. It is 11 millimeters, and it also comes in 60 or 70 meters. It's also for 30% off for this webinar. So same discount, same time frame. It's available starting now. It goes through the 24th. It's also USA made and certified to UIAA 101 and EN 892. And there are the specifications for the 11 latitude. And the third rope that we're featuring today is the 8.9 erratic. It is 8.9 millimeter. Also comes in 60 and 70 meters, and is also for 30% off for the next month. This rope is dry treated, and it includes PMI's Unicore technology. And it is USA made, certified to UIA 101 and EN 892. And this rope actually is available in single, half, or twin, and so there's all the specifications for those three. Our presenter today is Heidi Wirtz. She is a PMI vertical specialist. So without further ado, I'm going to give it over to Heidi.
Yay, hey. Welcome, everybody. So let's see, we'll just start. Oops, I don't think this is working. Okay. So I'm talking today about following your heart, turning your dreams into reality. I have definitely been following my heart for quite a while, and seems to be paying off. And here's just a few little guidelines, if you will, which I'm going to go over throughout the talk of how I follow my heart and how I learn to figure out how to incorporate that into my life. So, I mean, I'm going to go over it, so I won't just read through the list here. And it's funny, I found this picture actually online of me. You can never succeed if you don't try, but also I've heard lots of people say there is no such thing as trying, only doing. Because actually you want to have an attitude of success when you start into any project. So it's not, I'm going to try and do this. You're actually going to go and do things, is the whole idea of, you know, setting yourself up for success. And if some of you don't know me, I'm Heidi Wirtz. I am a professional rock climber. I also own a couple different businesses. I own an adventure yoga retreat business called First Play Retreat, where we take people out on adventures and do yoga along the way. We'll talk more about that too. And I also helped start a nonprofit called Girls Education International, and we help bring education to girls and women in remote areas throughout the world. And so, yeah, with that, we'll get going here. So basically, listening to your heart is super important. So stopping and listening, especially in this crazy world that we live in today, like everything's high-paced and high-speed. So if you can stop and slow down and actually listen to what your heart is actually saying, which might seem like, wait, what, my heart doesn't actually talk, but it does. So, yeah, our hearts actually speak. And if we slow down through meditation or even just going out in nature to stop and take moments for ourselves to listen, we can start to tune into what our heart is really speaking. And, you know, it takes practice actually to stop and listen, but it's definitely worthwhile and can pay off in the long run to figure out exactly what you love and what you're into. So you find out what makes you happy, and for me, being outdoors and being in nature makes me super happy. So whatever path I'm going to take in life, it's most likely going to be something in the outdoors. And of course, I love climbing. I'm a professional climber. So that's something that has been the standing ground for quite a few years. I've been climbing for over 25 years now, and that's a big part of it is the climbing, of course. This is in Shelf Road in Colorado, actually, a photo by John Lloyd. And I also love adventure a lot, and this photo brings in the 10.6 and the 11 latitude because I like climbing big mountains and big walls, and sometimes we go siege style on our climbing, and so this means that we fix lines up the wall and we'll keep reascending the lines. So if you're doing this like lots of travel over ropes, you want something a little more durable because sometimes your rope's going over edges and you're climbing up the rope over and over and over again, and the rope can be maybe, you know, rubbing over edges or just getting a lot of use and staying out in the environment for quite a long time. So that's when I like to pull out bigger ropes, and the 10, 6, and the 11 are nice choices for that. They're heavier, but once you get them up there, you feel really confident because they're nice and durable. And so this photo actually was taken in Wadi Rum in Jordan, in the Middle East. We put up a new route there with a group of climbers. There was like 5 of us, and we put a route up the closer wall that you can see in this photo. It was about 9 pitches long. It took us actually a few weeks because we had to do a lot of work on it. So we were going up and down the rope for 3 weeks. So you can think of like, you know, at first there's only like a couple ropes up maybe, but eventually we had quite a few ropes going up the wall, and they're getting left there for 3 weeks. So you want to have something nice and strong and durable. So for big wall climbing, definitely thicker ropes are a good choice. I also really, really love going light and fast, and that's a big part of my climbing. Most of my climbing, honestly, is light and fast, or maybe light and slow, we call it sometimes when we're actually not moving very fast, but we want to be. And that's when the erratic comes into play. It's super light and really handles nicely, and it's like one of my favorite ropes that I've ever climbed on, honestly. In the 70 meters, really nice, so that you can do nice long pitches. This is in Tasmania in, I guess it was like southeastern Tasmania, the Totem Pole, which is a pretty darn classic, iconic formation that obviously comes right out of the ocean. And my belayer, James Pearson, was getting hit by waves while he was belaying me. So it's a pretty good adventure route, and that's kind of what I love, is like big adventures, getting out into beautiful places. And I love getting up high. I actually held the women's speed record on El Cap, the nose route, and Half Dome, the regular route, and some other formations around the valley like Leaning Tower. For quite a while, I think I had the nose speed record with Vera Schulte-Talcum for 10 years before some women finally went and broke it, and actually it's been broken now in good style. So women are going a lot faster. But for these kind of ascents, you need something super light because you're bringing one rope, super committed. There's really no way down because you can't get off El Cap with one rope. So you want one rope that's very reliable. So using the erratic is a good choice because that rope is a nice, solid, strong, beautiful rope actually that handles really nicely and is nice and light. Yeah. And this is just the Rainbow Wall in Red Rocks. It has a really nice route up the middle of it. that is pretty popular called the Rainbow Wall. It's probably, I feel like it's one of the better routes in Red Rocks. It's like 512, it's 14 pitches long and probably about 1,400 feet tall. And that would be another choice for using the erratic. You can see actually there it is, with Alex Johnson coming up on one of the pitches. She's a boulderer actually, so she doesn't usually climb bigger formations. This was her first big wall. I kind of took her up it, and now she's addicted. But yeah, so it's a great rope for this kind of journey. And getting up on top of things is actually something that I love to do too, like topping out on things. This is in the Bugaboos. Me and Lizzie Scully climbed the South Hazard Minaret quite a few years ago. It's back in 2003. We got the first female ascent of it. It's a 2,500-foot wall. A bunch of guys had tried to do it, and we managed to get in there, find the line, and get up there, doing it all free. And that was probably what really got me started as a professional climber, because people saw that and they were like, ooh. That was one of my bigger accomplishments. But yeah, so summiting is something that I love. And I love the exposure of it all, climbing. This is where you want to make sure you have a nice rope. Yeah, and travel is a big part of what I love to do as well. I've been kind of all over the world. There's still a ton of places that I want to go, but I've been to like Jordan and Pakistan, Nepal, India, Siberia, Canada, Thailand, Eastern Europe, Patagonia, Morocco, all around Europe. There's a lot of places actually I've been to. But yeah, so travel is a big part of my makeup, like what I love to do, and it'll be a part of my life forever, I'm sure. And if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. I love this quote, because actually now that I've formed my career path, it doesn't actually feel like work when I'm out there taking people climbing. So like I said, I have an adventure travel yoga retreat business, and I'm also a guide, so I take people out and it feels like play. So I feel like doing what you love is super important. And another big thing is, you know, stepping out of the norm sometimes. I lived out of my truck. Sometimes you have to sacrifice, right? So to achieve your dreams, sacrifice is definitely a big deal, or it has been in my path, and I feel like it will be in most people's paths. Is that you have to sacrifice a little bit, you know, like maybe it's like you don't hang out with your family as much as you want to, or like for me, I lived out of my pickup truck for over 10 years actually, and just traveled on the road, which was fun, but it's also, you know, I didn't have a house to come back to when I'd come back from expeditions, and my truck, I live in Colorado a lot of the year, so I'd fly, or not live, but, you know, I'd work there seasonally, and yeah, so I'd come back to my truck and be covered in ice sometimes, and there's just sacrifices for sure that I made throughout my journeys, and all well worth it, but sacrifice and, you know, stepping out of the norm can be something that you might have to do to achieve your dreams. And definitely stepping out of your comfort zone is a huge one. So maybe living out of your car would be out of your comfort zone as well. I mean, for me, I didn't mind living out of my car, but yeah, it basically, if you step out of your comfort zone, then your comfort zone starts to expand. So then you can grow and become, you know, the greatest person that you can possibly be. And for me, some of my comfort zone, you know, I had a lot of epics where we would end up in the middle of nowhere in snowstorms, waiting it out and whatnot. And so epics were kind of a big part of stepping out of my comfort zone, because nobody really wants to have an epic, you know. Like this is my friend and I on our first ever try on climbing El Cap. And we decided to go up there in, it was like November actually, and a snowstorm came in and it snowed 2 feet and avalanches started hitting us while we were sleeping on our little bivy ledge, and our ropes got super iced up, and it was pretty scary, honestly. We ran out of food, and the search and rescue was coming over and yelling at us through their megaphones asking if we needed a rescue, and we said no because we were still okay and we didn't want to do a rescue. But sometimes you just have to, when these situations are happening, is just trust that it is going to work out and you're doing the best that you can, obviously, and making the best of the situation. So you do your best to keep a positive attitude even when you're in trying situations, and you know that every moment is going to change. And usually things change, fairly quickly. I mean, for us, sometimes they seem like they drag on forever and ever, but it's like, this will change. This moment will change. That's a good thing to remember when you're out there and in situations that you're not liking, maybe while you're, seeking your path, that this moment is going to change. Like even the good ones, the good moment, it's going to leave too. So enjoy that moment because it might be bad too. Or, don't worry too much about the bad moment because it's going to change too. So it's good to just keep that in mind that everything's going to change eventually. You're not going to be in an epic forever, hopefully. And same with suffering. I guess that kind of goes with epicing, but yeah, it's like when you suffer, it makes you more resilient and appreciate when the good things come around. So, you still make the best of every moment and try and do your best to not suffer and to not have epics. But when you have them, you know that you're going to grow later from them. This was in Patagonia, actually, doing a first ascent with Zach Smith back in, I think it was 2006. We put up a new route on San Rafael called Quilombo. It was like an 11 pitch route, I believe. Yeah, but suffering is a part of it. Yeah, and just getting out of your comfort zone once again, going back to that. So, it's like making the best of the situation. Here's my friend Roxana Brock on another first ascent that her and I did down in Siberia. Obviously, there's a theme to this. I like putting a first ascent. Getting out of my comfort zone and not knowing what's going to happen is kind of a big theme of my climbing career. But we ended up having a bivvy in this little cave one night because we didn't make it to the top, and it was unplanned, but we made the best of it and kind of giggled and laughed all night long, and we ended up putting up the new route the next day, or finishing it, rather. So it's just, not getting frustrated and giving up. I mean, we could have failed, but we decided just to keep pressing on, which is what you kind of have to do even in business. I'm realizing is like you can't give up. Now that I'm a business owner, I'm like, sometimes it just seems like it'd be so easy just to give up, but you can't, right? Not if you want to actually succeed. And it's being out there too, like being out on a limb, like just, and that, shot of my friend divvying in a little cave, it sometimes can be scary, but you have to let go of fear and, just trust and surrender and not worry as much, basically. Like I honestly don't go into every climb thinking that something bad's going to happen. I don't even usually think that. And same with my business. I'm not like, oh, this is going to fail. I mean, you don't want to be thinking that way. You want to be thinking that this is going to go great and everything's going to work out grand, and then, but you still can deal with things that come about, like the epics and whatnot. So, yeah. Yeah, and determination obviously is a huge one. So, giving it your all and being prepared. This is actually in the South Platte on which is Dihedral. It's a super fun 511 route, mega classic. So it's South Platte in Colorado. And, I was climbing with a big pack on, so I had to try really hard. But it's it's just that determination that will help you to achieve your dreams, as well as discipline is another one. So you have to keep at it, keep disciplined. Like I like to go back to my yoga practice. I'm also a yoga practitioner of 25 plus years, and I found that I treat my yoga practice like a job, and I treat my climbing kind of like a job too. I'm like, I have to do this, this, and this to, you know, get there. So you have to be really disciplined as well. And embracing challenge. So this is actually in the Czech Republic. They don't allow you to climb with metal gear, so we had to learn how to climb with knots, which when you haven't placed knots for protection, it's pretty horrifying and a big challenge. So it was facing our fears, stepping out of our comfort zone, and embracing the challenge, right? This is in Addersbach in the Czech Republic. Definitely one of the coolest places I've climbed. It's all like splitter, beautiful crack climbing, but you have to get all creative with your knot making. If we had some PMI ropes down there, we could have made some knots with them. But we were just using some old junky rope probably that those guys had, and we're letting us borrow all the Czech guys. They're really good at making knots. It's crazy. So that was a new challenge for me. And trust obviously is a big thing with all of it. So and basically, you know, the truth is that you already are what you're seeking. It's knowing that, it's trusting that you already are whole and complete, and you already are on the right path. It's just you have to listen and know which way to go. And I just like this quote a lot about being passionate. That's actually Hazel Finley taking a ball off of a deep water solo. It looks worse than it is. She's just going to fall into the water. But yeah, so just kind of jumping in full force into your passions, which is what I've done both in my climbing and my businesses that I've started, is just jumping in full-hearted and going for it. You know, that's moving into my car and, yeah, trying to make it happen. And also, a big one is there's always doubters, right? So I'm sure if any of you are starting your own businesses or anywhere in life, you'll know that there's doubters when you're doing things that might seem a little bit different to people. And just knowing that the doubters actually mean that you're on the right path, because people are going to doubt you when you're going in the right direction. It's inevitable. It happens. You know, not like if you're doing something really stupid, maybe you might want to listen, but but just know that you know, you can prove the doubters wrong. And not forgetting to celebrate success is a huge one, because sometimes we, especially in the climbing world, we just do something, get to the summit, and they're like, oh, what next, you know, and you forget to celebrate. And celebration is a huge part of life. And just celebrating even every moment, every minute. So it's like living in the moment a little bit more than just like working for that goal. So it's the baby steps, you know, it's the path along the way. So you're celebrating every little victory. I mean, it's even a celebration that we're still breathing today, because we might not be tomorrow. So the more that you celebrate, the more there is to celebrate, which is, I love that quote actually. And it's so true. You know, like, we have to celebrate and we have to honor the path that it takes, and not just the end, because there is no end. Like I was saying, it always is changing, and who knows, because our, you know, the end goal might change, and so we're just going to celebrate every step, and that helps with our success. And also finding people that help you grow is a huge one. So my friends and family have been huge in my success. They've helped me so much. This was back a long time ago, actually, when I was living out of my pickup. And yeah, it's just nice to surround yourself with amazing, awesome people that will help support your dreams. I like this quote too: surround yourself with people who make you hungry for life, touch your heart, and nourish your soul. So, you know, like I said, there will be doubters, but there'll be a lot of people that will be there that are really supportive and really, you know, helping you push your dream. So bring those people in, you know, don't push them away, because we can't actually do it on our own, you know, and actually we're not on our own. That's another thing to always remember, is that we're never alone out there. There's, you know, people that support us all along the way, and you can always find help, which is really cool, I think, in this world where it feels like we're alone and it's like everybody's so busy they don't have time and whatnot. But there actually are always people out there that can help us, and just knowing that we're not alone, we're all in this together, we're all trying to do our best, is something to embrace, and try and surround yourself with those people that help support you. Which brings me to PMI, who has been super supportive of both my climbing and my business, which has been amazing, and I'm super grateful. So being grateful is another one. Grateful to everything that comes along your way as gifts. Even the challenges can be full of, you know, learning for you, and to be grateful for all of that. And here's some of my other sponsors that have helped me: North Face and La Sportiva, Jewel Bow, Cliff Bar, Petzl, Metoyas, Adventure Medical Kits. Also Hugger Mugger has helped me a lot, and Big Tree Farms. So I'm just super grateful to these companies for helping me to achieve my goals, and to help push me to achieve greater things with my life. And living every moment is a big deal, right? So it's not just, like I was saying, the end result. It's like every single moment, because we don't know what's going to happen, because life is constantly changing. So if you live every moment, you're not going to miss out. And all of this, it'll bring you freedom, which can be a pretty lovely thing. This is actually in Indian Creek, which for me, this is freedom, just like being out and living on the road and doing my own thing. And so basically what I did was I put all of those things together, like the community and my passions of being outside, and I'm a yoga teacher as well, so I love teaching yoga and sharing. I'm a climbing guide. I love sharing my climbing. I surf as well. And so I've combined it all together to start a business called Earth Play Retreat. And it's kind of still a baby. It's about 1.5 years old, maybe getting a little older than that. But we do adventure yoga retreats in California, Utah. We do them. Colorado. We have one in Puerto Rico, and it's been a really amazing journey so far. People have been really supportive. All my sponsors have been super supportive, and the people that have shown up have been incredible. And it's fun to bring all my passions together into an offering that I can share with people, which feels super amazing. And this is where the 10.6 and the 11 come in really nicely, is when you're top roping, which is what I do on a lot of my trips. We take people out and teach them how to rock climb or work on skills that they can improve their climbing. It's nice if you're top roping and the ropes, like I said, like lots of mileage, going over the rock over and over. And these don't have quite as much stretch as, say, the skinnier 9.8. The 9.8 has quite a bit of stretch, actually. The 8.9, sorry. The 8.9 has quite a bit of stretch, which is nice for lead climbing, for taking nice dynamic falls. These ones don't have quite as much, which is nicer for me for when I'm guiding. But you still want a dynamic rope so that I can lead up there and set the ropes up, and it's still safe for that. but they're really great for wear, and they last a really long time. They're both very amazing ropes. That was in Joshua Tree. And here's just a few of our offerings that we have for the rest of the year. We have retreats throughout the year, but our next one coming up, we have in Yosemite, we're doing a backpacking yoga, acro yoga, and summoning half dome up the cables route. That's coming up in the fall. I think the dates are September the 9th through the 14th, something like that. And it's going to be an amazing trip. We have a lot of fun. We do lots of yoga along the way, and it's just an amazing trip. We also have a redefining play in Moab, where we're doing climbing, yoga, acro yoga, slacklining. We also have Thai massage incorporated into all of our retreats as well. And we're going to go rafting on this trip as well. So just bringing it all together, we've been running this trip for a couple years, and it's had a really good turnout, super fun. And we also do one for New Year's in Joshua Tree. It's a super fun celebration. This will be our second year, and we have a great time. The community is amazing that turned out for this last year, and hopefully some of them will come back this year, but that's another retreat that has been really fun for us. And our Puerto Rico, where we go climbing, surfing, slacklining, and do yoga as well. And thank you, PMI, for sending ropes all the way to Puerto Rico for us. But yeah, it's been good. And how do you know you're on the right path? Well, you're probably going to be pretty psyched. Here's me about to teach a yoga class in Joshua Tree. We had like a little yoga shala set up. It was super awesome. You know, because it was the middle of the winter, it was cold in the morning, so we sometimes had to be in here, and actually it snowed on this trip. But it ended up being super nice for the climbing days, so we got to climb. But when you know you're on the right path, you'll know you're on the right path for sure, because you'll just be happy. And things will start to fall into place, and it'll feel like you're dancing for sure. This is in Indian Creek, climbing. I can't remember the name of this route honestly, but it's called Anunnaki actually. So Anunnaki, beautiful split crack. I love crack climbing. It's another thing I love to do. And basically live today. That's the bottom line. Live every moment and live today. And that's the website for my business if you'd like to learn more. But thank you guys for tuning in. And if you have any questions, let me know.
Thanks, Heidi.
Yeah.
And so like Heidi said, if you have any questions, you can type them into the chat/questions section of your control panel, and we can get to them. And we have one right now. So the question is, what is the biggest challenge you face in starting your business?
The biggest challenge?
Yeah.
Well, for me, I'm not necessarily much of a business person, so learning how to run a business has been pretty darn challenging. Because I run the entire thing single-handedly at the moment, which I'm hoping to change pretty soon. So doing the marketing and trying to figure out where you actually get these people from, because I just keep looping back to the same marketing over and over again. But yeah, it's basically the business organizational part for me. Like once I get on the retreats, it's just like, yeah, and actually organizing the retreats is no problem, like, because that's the kind of stuff I've always done. So yeah, it's been a pretty big challenge, but it's fun. It's new, and I'm learning a lot.
Okay, cool. So that's the only question we had, but if you have any other questions, you can put them in while I wrap this up, and then we'll still get to them. So I'm going to switch it back over to my screen. Okay, so if you have further questions, or you're watching this on, you watch this on the website in the archive, you can email your questions to Heidi at HeidiWirtz@gmail.com. It's shown there on your screen. And the PMI Dynamic Webinar Series hosts webinars frequently, so you can keep an eye on the PMI Dynamic website for future dates and topics. That is also the website where you will find the recording of this webinar along with the webinar slides, and they'll be available at that link within 24 hours. And remember that the 60 and 70 meter lengths of the 11 latitude, the 10-6 circ, and the 8-9 erratic ropes are all 30% off until August 24th. And you can find those at pmidynamic.com/products, or you can call 1-800-282-ROPE and order them over the phone with our customer service department. And for news and updates for PMI or for Heidi, you can visit us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or our websites. So all of the links are shown there at the bottom of your screen, or the URLs. So we hope that you come see us, and that's where you'll find out about future webinars that we're doing as well on our Facebook and Twitter pages. So we really appreciate you joining us today, and we hope you have a great day. Thank you very much, Heidi, for presenting this.
Oh yeah, thank you for having me.
No problem. Have a great day, everybody.